Hello and welcome. It is February 28th, 2026, and 6 hours ago, something happened that no one saw coming. The Earth's low orbit went completely silent. This wasn't a simple internet outage or a software glitch you could fix with a reboot. I'm talking about Starlink, the single most advanced communication network in human history. Every single one of its 6,428 satellites gone offline, dead. Imagine it. A system that supports global finance, military operations, and millions of internet connections vanished for exactly 17 minutes. At SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, Elon Musk enforced an immediate lockdown. No press statements, no explanations, just silence. But the data tells a story that defies everything we know about physics. This was not a cyber attack. It wasn't a solar flare. At 8:14 UTC, NASA's Deep Space Network, via the DSS-43 antenna in Canberra, detected an enormous, coherent electromagnetic spike. And here's the part that seems impossible. The signal did not originate from the Sun, nor from Earth. It came from the trajectory of a distant object known as 3 Atlas, currently 180 million kilometers away. Supposedly, it's a comet, a mass of ice and rock, but this object produced a signal so precise, so focused, that it bypassed military-grade encryption and hit only the Starlink frequencies. The chance of this happening naturally? Close to zero. Comets are unpredictable. They spin, outgas, and behave chaotically. They do not fire synchronized electromagnetic pulses with the precision of a sniper. Yet, the numbers tell a different story. To disrupt 6,000 satellites simultaneously from that distance requires terawatts of power focused into a beam less than half a degree wide. That is not random. It implies technology. It implies intent. And it wasn't just a blackout. During those 17 minutes, Starlink wasn't just offline. Logs show an enormous influx of data being uploaded from an external source. So the real question isn't how this happened. The physics already rules out natural causes. The real question is, what was being uploaded to our infrastructure while the world scrambled to reconnect? If 3 Atlas can interact with our satellites this way, then we are no longer just passive observers. Something out there is reaching in, touching our technology with precision. The timeline of events makes it even more shocking. At 8:14 UTC, the SpaceX Network Operations Center turned red with alarms. Normally, satellite failures happen gradually. One satellite malfunctions, another loses guidance, following a predictable statistical curve, but this event was instantaneous. At 8 hours, 14 minutes and 3 seconds, telemetry from 200 satellites over the Pacific vanished. 2 seconds later, the entire northern hemisphere grid went dark. By 8 hours, 14 minutes and 9 seconds, all 6,000 nodes, spread across multiple orbital planes and running different software versions, had gone offline simultaneously. Engineers initially assumed a software update had gone wrong, but then, at 8:16 UTC, external sensors recorded something extraordinary. The satellite's space weather monitors were detecting an overwhelming external signal, far stronger than anything natural. Starlink operates on very specific frequencies, between 10.7 and 14.5 gigahertz. Nature doesn't broadcast in these bands. The Sun produces broadband noise. Jupiter emits low-frequency waves. But this signal? Locked exactly at 12.5 gigahertz. Think about that. To hit that frequency from 180 million kilometers away requires not just power, but knowledge of our infrastructure, of our network. And we aren't relying solely on SpaceX data. NASA's Deep Space Network, the European Space Agency in Malargüe, Argentina, and the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia all independently detected the anomaly. 3 observatories, 3 continents, different instruments, identical results. The source was 3 Atlas. But that was only the beginning. As the minutes ticked by, the signal evolved, shifting from raw power to a precisely timed pulse, repeating every 1.618 seconds, the golden ratio. A chaotic comet doesn't produce a mathematical pattern like this. During 17 minutes, we had a global blackout, a targeted signal at our exact frequencies, and a repeating mathematical code from 180 million kilometers away. This wasn't random. Someone or something was knocking on the door, and for 17 minutes, Starlink opened it. By 8:20 UTC, something even stranger was happening. What began as a raw, powerful jamming signal had transformed. At 8:27 UTC, just before Starlink came back online, the pattern shifted. The Green Bank telescope in West Virginia recorded the signal pulsing on, off, with perfect precision. In physics, we look for entropy, for disorder. Natural events are messy, unpredictable. A comet outgassing billions of kilometers away would produce random, chaotic noise. But this pulse was different. It repeated every 1.618 seconds, the golden ratio. That's the same number found in nautilus shells, sunflowers, and other natural patterns. But here it was, encoded in a directed electromagnetic pulse from 180 million kilometers away. The odds of a natural object producing such a precise rhythm? Practically zero. Meanwhile, telescopes around the world confirmed another baffling fact: the energy involved. To jam satellites in low Earth orbit from that distance, the pulse would require a power output of 14 terawatts, roughly 70% of the world's total energy consumption at any moment. Thermodynamics tells us that if a comet produced this much energy, it would vaporize instantly. Its ice and rock would explode. Yet, 3 Atlas remained intact, its surface stable at minus 70 degrees Celsius. It was emitting energy equivalent to a small star while staying cold and structurally perfect. This is impossible under known physical laws. The spectral analysis added another twist. Observers expected to see normal cometary emissions, water, carbon monoxide, simple organics, but instead detected strong, coherent emissions of technetium-99. This radioactive element has no stable isotopes and is produced naturally only in dying stars or artificially in nuclear reactors. Its presence on a comet is extraordinary. It implies a recent high-energy synthesis process active right now. Natural comets don't act as nuclear reactors, and yet here it was unmistakably in the data. And then there was the trajectory. Comets follow predictable paths, influenced only by gravity and occasional outgassing. But during the 17-minute blackout, 3 Atlas accelerated. Its velocity changed by 0.04 kilometers per second. For a 2-kilometer object, that's a massive force. Yet no outgassing or propellant was detected. No tail expanded. No jets were visible. The object accelerated without an apparent cause, a phenomenon astrophysicists call non-gravitational acceleration. This isn't chaotic behavior like other anomalous objects. 3 Atlas remained stable, rotation locked, and its acceleration vector perfectly aligned with Earth during the pulse. Newton's third law suggests that the signal carried momentum. Whoever or whatever generated it knew exactly what it was doing. By 8:30 UTC, a new shocking discovery emerged. The blackout wasn't just a test of power. The Starlink network had received a structured data transmission. A SpaceX engineer leaked raw telemetry logs from the Redmond, Washington gateway, showing a packet injection precise binary data embedded in the carrier wave. Decoded, it revealed a sequence of prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, repeating. Prime numbers are considered a universal language, a signal of intelligence. Nature doesn't count. Pulsars pulse with rhythm, but they do not transmit prime numbers. Solar flares are chaotic. They do not encode mathematical sequences. The implications are staggering. This isn't just a high-energy anomaly. It's a deliberate communication. For 17 minutes, Starlink wasn't offline. It was receiving a message, and then the pattern changed. After repeating 3 times, the signal stopped being purely mathematical. It transmitted a crude, low-resolution 2-dimensional image, a solar system with 8 planets, Earth highlighted, and a new, unidentified point of light beside it. The trajectory update, the 0.04 kilometers per second acceleration, wasn't random. It was a course correction. 3 Atlas is not passing through. It's parking itself in a controlled orbit. We are witnessing an unprecedented event. A distant object is not just moving through space, it's interacting with our technology, accelerating without propellant, generating colossal energy, and delivering a message directly to human civilization. It is no longer science fiction. It is happening here, in real time, inside our solar system. And as the Starlink network came back online, the real evidence emerged. During those 17 minutes, the object didn't just communicate, it uploaded something massive to the constellation. When Starlink reactivated at 8:31 UTC, the integrity check failed. Every single one of the 6,428 satellites had altered firmware, not corrupted, altered. The code increased by exactly 0.04 petabytes. This wasn't a glitch. During the blackout, 3 Atlas used the satellite network as a massive storage device. Whatever it uploaded was now embedded in the global internet infrastructure, and the system had already begun executing it. Telemetry showed a new background process running across the entire constellation, using 3% of the network's processing power. Its purpose? Unknown, but it was searching. The energy and intelligence required to orchestrate this event are unimaginable. A cold, stable object generating 14 terawatts, accelerating without fuel, and interfacing directly with Earth's communication network defies every known law of physics. Newton, Maxwell, and thermodynamics all fail to explain what we are observing. If this is a natural phenomenon, it is a new state of matter or an entirely new physical process. If it is artificial, then we are dealing with a probe with capabilities far beyond human engineering. The nature of the communication leaves no doubt. The prime number sequence is the universal handshake for intelligent contact. The following bitmap image is a chart of our solar system with Earth clearly highlighted and a new point of light indicating an additional presence. The deceleration and course adjustment confirm that this object is not passing by, it is entering a controlled orbit. Its next move is deliberate. Scientists and engineers around the world are grappling with the implications. This is not a simple encounter with a distant comet. This is a direct interface with an object capable of manipulating our most advanced technology. It is a machine, not a rock. And the silence from global leaders and tech giants speaks volumes. They understand that if an object can hack thousands of satellites, alter its orbit, and transmit intelligent data, the situation is unprecedented. The world is watching, yet very few understand the full magnitude of what is unfolding. The uploaded payload raises even more questions. Is it a message, an archive of knowledge, or a form of software capable of interacting with our digital systems? Whatever it is, the Starlink network has begun executing it autonomously. The process is subtle but ongoing, integrating with satellites across different orbital planes. It is searching, analyzing, and possibly preparing for the next phase of its plan. Meanwhile, telescopes and observatories remain fixed on 3 Atlas. Its approach is deliberate. The object is slowing as it crosses the orbit of Mars, preparing for perihelion, the closest point to the Sunday. This is typically when comets break apart, yet 3 Atlas shows no signs of fragmentation. Its structure remains perfectly intact, its temperature stable, its energy output steady. The event that has just occurred, the blackout, the pulse, the data transmission is only the beginning. The true interaction, the next phase, is approaching, and humanity may witness something entirely new. A direct encounter with a machine inside our solar system, capable of altering our reality. As the minutes passed, 3 Atlas continued to defy every expectation. Observatories around the world tracked it closely, yet every measurement challenged what we know about celestial objects. Its trajectory adjustments, energy output, and structural integrity all point toward one unavoidable conclusion. This is not a natural comet. A comet cannot accelerate without expelling mass. A comet cannot emit terawatts of energy while remaining cold. A comet cannot target a specific frequency across 180 million kilometers with military-grade precision. And yet, every single one of these anomalies is confirmed by independent instruments across 3 continents. During the 17-minute blackout, the world was distracted by the sudden loss of internet and communications, but in reality, a highly advanced system had interfaced directly with Earth's technology. Starlink had not failed, it had been accessed. The prime numbers, the bitmap image, the firmware changes, all of these confirm intelligent intent. Whoever, or whatever, is behind this event possesses knowledge of our infrastructure, timing, and communication networks. They did not randomly broadcast into space, they address humanity directly. Meanwhile, the physical behavior of 3 Atlas raises further questions. Its course correction, the 0.04 kilometers per second acceleration, was perfectly aligned with Earth during the transmission. Newton's third law implies that the object experienced an equal and opposite force, meaning the energy of the signal carried measurable momentum. This is a level of interaction with our planet that goes far beyond observation. This is a deliberate, mechanical interface with our civilization's most critical infrastructure. At 8:30 UTC, the binary sequence of prime numbers had finished repeating, but the transmission didn't stop. The signal evolved. It began to encode spatial data, a crude map of the solar system. Earth was highlighted, and next to it was a new point of light, an object not previously catalogued. Combined with the deceleration and trajectory adjustments, the evidence points to a probe entering a controlled orbit within the inner solar system. Its purpose is unclear, but the precision of its actions suggests careful planning. 3 Atlas is now positioned between Mars and the asteroid belt, slowing as it prepares for perihelion. If it were a comet, this is the point where the sun's heat would begin to disintegrate its structure. But 3 Atlas shows no signs of outgassing, no tail expansion, and its internal temperature remains a stable minus 70 degrees Celsius. This is a machine masquerading as a comet, a vessel with capabilities far beyond our current understanding. It can emit energy, accelerate without propellant, and interact directly with technology. Humanity is observing something entirely unprecedented, a cold, intelligent object capable of modifying its environment from millions of kilometers away. The implications of this event extend far beyond astrophysics. The Starlink network, now online, is operating under new firmware that was uploaded during the blackout. This is not theoretical. 6,000 satellites have been altered. The payload is active, using 3% of the network's processing power to perform tasks unknown to us. Whatever was installed is now integrated into the backbone of global internet infrastructure. It is actively running and interacting with our digital systems. If this is a probe, then its purpose is not destruction. It is observation, communication, or perhaps preparation. The prime numbers were the handshake, the blackout was the installation, and the low-resolution solar system image may have been a message or a reference. The precision of its actions indicates intelligence and planning. This is no longer a matter of speculation. It is a real-time encounter with an advanced entity capable of interfacing with human technology. Every element of this event, the coherent electromagnetic pulse, the precise targeting of Starlink frequencies, the technetium, 9 spectral lines, the acceleration without propellant points to intelligence and control. Nature does not behave this way. There is no natural explanation for a cold object generating terawatts of power while remaining structurally intact. There is no known physics that can explain this combination of energy, output, precision, and trajectory. 3 Atlas is a machine, a probe, a direct interface with our civilization. And now, the world is watching. NASA and global observatories are tracking every move. 3 Atlas is approaching perihelion, slowing and preparing for the next phase of its operation. Its next move may be even more significant. The uploaded firmware is active, the satellites are executing new code, and the global communication network has been subtly altered. What comes next is unknown, but one thing is certain: humanity is no longer observing passively. We are being interacted with, analyzed, and perhaps even contacted by a machine capable of interfacing with our infrastructure. The stakes are immense. A cold object with an artificial signature, accelerating without fuel, transmitting data, and interfacing with technology represents an entirely new class of celestial encounter. This is not just an astrophysical anomaly, it is a global technological event with implications for security, science, and civilization. Governments, tech companies, and researchers are scrambling to understand the full scope, yet the public remains largely unaware of the magnitude of what just occurred. As 3 Atlas crosses the orbit of Mars and prepares for perihelion, the planet watches in silent anticipation. The blackout was just the beginning. The firmware upload is running, the binary data is active, and the probe's trajectory is deliberate. The prime numbers were only a handshake. The low-resolution solar system map was a message, and the energy pulse demonstrated capability. What comes next may redefine humanity's understanding of technology, communication, and intelligence in the universe. The object is entering a controlled orbit, shedding velocity in a manner impossible for any natural body without mass ejection. It is positioning itself to continue its interaction with our planet. Starlink is now, essentially, a live interface between humanity and an unknown intelligence. Every operation of the network could be monitored, analyzed, or influenced. For 17 minutes, the probe had access to our most advanced communication infrastructure. Whatever was installed is now active, and we have no way of fully understanding its capabilities. Observers are preparing for what might happen at perihelion, the closest approach to the Sunday. This is when a comet usually releases its maximum energy, breaking apart under intense heat. But 3 Atlas is not a normal comet. Its structure remains intact, its temperature stable, and its systems operational. This machine is designed to survive conditions that would destroy natural objects. Its arrival is not random. It is intentional, precise, and intelligent. The scale of the event is staggering. We are witnessing first contact within our own solar system, not light years away, but directly here, interacting with our technology. The implications are global, immediate, and unprecedented. Governments, space agencies, and private companies are monitoring every parameter, from telemetry to spectral data, trying to anticipate the next move. And yet, the probe's intentions remain a mystery. This is not just science. This is a global event with technological, strategic, and philosophical consequences. Humanity is being addressed, evaluated, and perhaps even engaged through its most advanced infrastructure. Starlink has become more than a network. It is now a conduit for intelligence, a bridge between Earth and a machine from the depths of space. As we watch the trajectory, the telemetry, and the new code running across the satellites, one thing is clear: the real event is just beginning. The prime numbers were a greeting. The blackout was a setup. The firmware upload is the foundation. What comes next will determine how humanity responds to an intelligence capable of interacting directly with our civilization. The next hours, days, and weeks will be critical. Every observation, every calculation, every response will shape how we understand this encounter. The world is watching, but few grasp the scale. 3 Atlas is not just a visitor, it is an actor, a machine, and potentially the most significant technological event in human history. Stay vigilant. Watch closely. The code is running, the probe is positioning, and humanity's first direct contact with an intelligence outside our planet is unfolding in real time. If you want to understand what happens next, stay connected, subscribe, and enable notifications, because this story is far from over, and you won't want to miss a single update.